Servus Leute, willkommen zurück zu Danganronpa. Trigger Happy Havoc. Ja, Sayaka da rechts war niemals bei so einem Class Trial dabei. Junko auch nicht. Irgendwie schade. Sayaka wusste nicht mal, dass es sowas überhaupt gibt. Aber schön. Also du meinst. Ja.
It was your fault after all!
My fault, Master's fault. When our faults combine, they soar to even greater heights!
Just answer the question. Did you kill Sakura?
Well, to be honest, Miss Morose and me don't actually share our memories. So I can't really say what was going on. But I was just minding my own business, sleeping peacefully when someone shook me awake. Was it a prince paying me a visit? I wondered. So I opened my eyes to see... Splatter everywhere! I was not prepared for that. And, well, I guess it took me by surprise. I got so startled, I smacked her with the first thing I could find, which I guess was a bottle. Sakura was just worried about you, and you're terrible! No, she's terrible! Thanks to her, I murdered someone who wasn't an adorable boy for the first time ever!
And when it was all over, you collected the pieces of the bottle to get rid of the evidence, didn't you?
I wasn't about to die for some woman! If I'm gonna go down, I want it to be for killing Master!
Just go away and die your meaningless death alone. Don't drag me into it.
But I just can't catch a break, you know? Fate's got it out for me. Because normally, Sakura should have been able to dodge my attack, no problem!
Even as strong as she is, she must have still been reeling from Hiro's attack.
Hey, come on. That's... you know. But anyway, I'm not the one that killed Ogre. So that's good.
Also das ist gut. Ja, so zu reden. Und Hina würde, ja, wahrscheinlich dreht die jetzt auch durch.
Well then, that's that. Let's start the boat.
Hä? Ja, ich dachte zuvor hätte sie diese Worte noch Richtung Hiro gewendet. Ja, ich weiß, das ist überhaupt nicht die richtige Übersetzung, aber...
What's wrong? Come on everyone, we're ready to vote, right? Let's do this.
No, not quite yet.
Huh? Not yet? Why not yet?
Don't you think there was something odd about Toko's story? I mean, you had to have noticed. Odd? Huh? Hiro's attack, and then Toko's, but that still wasn't the end of it.
Es war's nicht?
Tell us your story one more time. Tell us what happened after you fainted. Then even this gaggle of idiots should understand what I'm talking about.
Your wish is my command, darling.
Es ist noch nicht vorbei. Ist das wirklich? Derjenige, der Sakura getötet hat, ist... Okay, erstmal durchgehen. Okay, das oberste hatten wir, glaube ich, schon.
I was just sleeping peacefully. And all of a sudden, Sakura was right there in front of me. I remember waking up right in front of the magazine shelf.
You were taken by surprise when you saw Ogre covered in blood. So you smashed her head in with the Monokuma bottle?
Warum hat das eine andere Stimme?
I smashed her good!
And where did the attack take place?
Right where I woke up. I killed her there in front of the shelf.
Ah! Kann gar nicht sein, weil sie saß im Sessel. Okay, gut. Haben wir das schon mal geklärt?
I was just sleeping peacefully.
Nee.
And all of a sudden, Sakura was right there in front. I remember waking up.
You smashed her head.
You got it.
And where did the attack?
Right where I woke up.
Okay,
Killed her
jetzt.
there.
Hab die falsche Taste gedrückt.
We found Sakura sitting upright in a chair. If the blow by the shelf was the cause of death, there's no explanation why she was in that chair.
So, you finally noticed.
That's just another lie from a bloodthirsty serial killer.
Are you sure you didn't attack her while she was sitting in the chair?
No, I'm sure she's telling the truth. Anyone who saw the murder scene should think the same way.
Es muss also Der Vorfall, der beweist, ach so, dass sie vor dem, ja, das hier, dass sie vor dem Magazinregal, immer wenn ich Magazin sage, denke ich an Patronenmagazin, wegen einer Waffe.
Sakura was definitely attacked in front of the shelf. The blood stain by the magazines is proof of that.
Then she must have moved the body after she killed her, right? All to make it look like I did it. Because when I hit her, she was sitting in the chair.
Hey, come on now, look at me. I can't carry anything heavier than my own scissors. There's no way I can move a muscle-bound heavyweight like that.
Then what's the deal?
Well, are you still convinced the case has come to an end?
But
Plus, the biggest mystery of all, the locked room, still has yet to be explained. Until we take care of that, we can't say this case has been properly settled.
oh, that part's easy. After she killed Sakura, Toko just hid in the locker again.
So she just hid in there till everyone showed up and opened the door? And while everything was all confused and hectic, she just snuck out of the locker into the group.
No, I don't think that's possible.
Ja, warum sie sich nicht im Spind versteckt hat, war... Nee, definitiv nicht. Nein. Da.
I got it! Even before we opened the door to the rec room, Hina and I both got a look inside. And at that point, the locker was already open. So obviously Toko couldn't have been hiding in there.
Okay then, where was she hiding?
I don't know. What's this whole locked room thing about anyway?
How do you not know? You killed her!
I think the fact that I don't know proves I didn't kill her. Thank you very much.
Irgendwie mag ich das Gesicht von ihr. Auch wenn sie durchgeknallt ist, aber trotzdem.
You're lying.
No, she's not. I've been saying all along, there's still more to this case.
But if Genocide Jill didn't do it, that means Ogre didn't die from the shot to the head.
And
Well, I can't imagine what else could have killed her.
that's because you're overlooking vital information.
Ja, Blut aus dem Mund, Vergiftung, innere Blutung, wobei ich jetzt eher glaube, dass es eine Vergiftung ist als eine innere Blutung. Ja, was wichtig ist, vergessen. Jetzt, ja. Ich habe nur mein halbes Herz, mit dem nächsten Fehlschlag gehe ich drauf. Gelbes Puder, ja. Oder Monokuma-Fall, was standen da nochmal?
What was it that killed Ogre?
Schauen wir mal. Okay, das Monokuma-Fall ist wertlos. Ja, das gelbe Puder. Oder? Moment, was hat Aoi gesagt? Aha, okay, es ist auch umsonst. So.
What was it?
There's no other possible cause. What killed Sakura? I can't think of any.
Nee. Ja, ja. Aber es war doch... Oder war... So gelbes Puder.
It wasn't from Genesis. What was it? There's no other possible cause. What killed Sakura? I can't think of anything other than the shot to her head.
War doch gelbes Puder, oder nicht?
So you're dead set on blaming me, huh?
Moment.
What was it that killed Ogre? If it wasn't from Genocide Jill's attack, then what was it?
There's no other possible cause. What killed Sakura? I can't
Was
think
da?
of anything.
No, it's wrong.
Aber da steht ja keine weiteren Verletzungen.
According to the Monokuma file, Sakura had vomited blood. I think we can assume there's a chance this was related to her cause of death.
Ja, habe ich ja auch gesagt, aber dann stand auf einmal keine weiteren Verletzungen.
In fact, There was even a trace of blood left around her mouth.
Well, I mean, maybe when she got hit with the bottles, she cut the inside of her mouth.
If that's all it was, the file wouldn't have specified vomited blood. Not to mention, I didn't find any cuts inside her mouth.
You even checked in there? God, you really are into dead bodies!
No, I'm not into dead bodies. What I'm into is solving mysteries.
But if there wasn't a cut or anything, then what made her vomit blood?
Some sort of reaction within her body. Most likely, Sakura was poisoned.
Ja, habe ich auch schon gesagt. Ich meine, innere Blutung könnten es auch sein, aber Vergiftung auch.
Poisoned?
That's right. This is the conclusion I've arrived at, and so there can be no mistake.
You're making me go all weak in the knees!
Byakuya tut so, als ob er alles wüsste. Was für ein Fatzke, ich hasse ihn.
She was poisoned? It isn't possible!
Is it really so hard to believe? Then let me explain exactly how the culprit was able to poison her.
Vor allem die Position hier, auch noch so von oben herab, als ob er was Besseres wäre. Ich könnte ihn so schlagen.
Explain it?
Of course, if you don't mind.
Everyone quiet! Shut up and listen to Master!
But you're the only one talking.
The key to unlocking this mystery was hiding in the chem lab up on the 4th floor.
Not in the rec room? And I could have found it all along.
You never would have, since you gave up on the search the moment you were barred from the crime scene.
Well, yeah, good point.
There's a big shelving unit in the chem lab that houses a variety of mixtures and chemicals. And that's where I found this.
Is that the poison?
It's not an especially powerful poison, but it'll still kill you if you drink an entire bottle. But the specific properties don't matter. What does matter is where I found it.
Where did you find it?
The shelf is divided up into 3 sections, A, B, and C. In Section A, dietary supplements. In B, reagents. And in C, a variety of lethal chemicals.
And that's where the poison came from? Section C?
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
Ja, ich habe gerade was im Hals, jedes Mal. Ne, ich habe gerade auf meine Zehen geguckt, weil die total geschwollen sind und schmerzen. Und ich habe mich eh schon mit so einer Hautcreme eingeschmiert, aber besser wird's wohl nicht. Das ist richtig nervig. Die Flasche Gift, die Byakuya uns gezeigt hat, ich bin sicher, ich habe sie schon mal wo gesehen. Moment, welche hast du jetzt genommen? Ich kann hier nichts mehr wählen, Moment. Was hat er jetzt gesagt? Ich habe jetzt nicht aufgepasst. A waren Vitamine, B waren irgendwas anderes und C waren, glaube ich, die Gifte.
Shoot!
Verdammt. Ja. Oder nee, Moment. Vielleicht sind die Flaschen vertauscht worden. Ja, ich gebe nicht auf. Das heißt, sie müsste im A sein. Oder das heißt, er hat die Flasche vom A-Regal rausgenommen, weil da waren die Vitamine. Ja. Oh nee, nicht schon wieder. Bla bla bla. Einfach alles überspringen. Okay, Chemikalie C, 9. Achso, C sind die Gifte, aber wahrscheinlich war die bei den Vitaminen. Also A.
I got it! The poison was actually in Section A, wasn't it?
Huh? You just said that Section A was for supplements or whatever.
Strange, isn't it? Why would there be a bottle of poison mixed in with all those nutritional additives?
Yeah, so? Why?
Because the culprit switched it out. That's why.
What do you mean?
I mean this.
Boah, der trinkt's, aber ich wette, da ist kein Gift drin. Da ist bestimmt Vitamin drin. Byakuya hat die Flasche mit Gift genommen, an den Lippen und... Ja, zum Schock aller... Ja, er hat's gesoffen. Ja, also, und als ob es das Natürlichste der Welt war. Byakuya war so Gefühl wie immer.
Ugh, that tastes awful.
Ja, Calm heißt eigentlich ruhig, aber den kann ich unmöglich als ruhig bezeichnen.
Oh no! Master's in real trouble! You have to drink some water! You can't just swallow powder! It'll stick to your throat!
Idiot! He just swallowed poison! We need to make him spit it out!
The flavor certainly makes me want to spit it out. What's so high quality about this stuff?
Huh? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the protein, of course.
Protein?
Can I see that bottle for a second?
Sure. Do whatever you like.
Kyoko nahm die Flasche von Byakuya und kratzte ein bisschen davon mit dem Finger zusammen oder so. Achso, sie führte... Ach ja, doch, sie führte den Finger an der Zunge und...
It's protein powder.
Ja,
Correct. That wasn't poison in the bottle, but harmless protein powder. Which makes one wonder, the poison that should have been in that bottle, where did it go?
die Flasche mit Gift war gefüllt mit Proteinpulver. Ja, lass mich raten, Proteinshake ist voller Gift. Oh, ganz schön viele Wörter. Ja, Proteinshake, okay. T E I N auch. Ja, achso, ich muss da rein auch, okay. Da. Protein. Achso, Drink. Nein, da. Verdammt. Drink. N fehlt. Ein N. Gib mir ein N. So.
Now I understand. The poison must have been poured into the protein can. If the protein's in the poison bottle, it seems only logical to assume the reverse is true, right?
Absolutely. The contents of each container were switched. So the protein was in the bottle of poison, and the poison was in the protein can. Once you accept that, it becomes obvious how the culprit was able to get Sakura to drink the poison.
Holy crap!
All they had to do was hand her something there at the scene, and she was happy to drink the poison herself.
Irgendeine interessante Szene. Trinken und eine Kummertorte.
I got it! You're saying they gave her a protein drink, right?
A protein drink which actually contained a deadly poison.
Oh nein, sag mir nicht, es war Aoi.
What?
That's all it took to kill Sakura. That is the true cause of death.
You know, I do remember Ogre saying that protein stuff was good for all kinds of aches and pains. So maybe she took it to try and help with the whole bleeding head wound thing.
But what was offered to her instead was a bottle full of poison. And I already know exactly who swapped the mixtures.
For real? Who was it?
Evidence revealing who replaced the two materials was left in the chem lab for anyone to see.
Etwas vor im Regal. Okay, das ist das Puder. Byakuya ist ja ein ziemliches Arschloch in dem Spiel und leider glaube ich, da es ja ein Anime zum Spiel gibt und der Anime wahrscheinlich dem Spiel sehr getreu sein wird, wird Byakuya wahrscheinlich da auch ein Arschloch sein. Ist doch vor dem Regal. Ah, die Fußspuren, die meint er. Ich dachte, er meint das Puder an sich. Ja, ich drück schon wieder das Falsche.
I got it! The footprints left behind in front of the shelf. That's the evidence you're talking about, isn't it?
I visited the chem lab this morning, and there were definitely no footprints there at that point. They must have appeared around the time of the murder, which leaves no doubt that they're connected. What's more, The footprints were in front of Section A, where I found the bottle meant for the poison. The culprit must have gone to Section A to swap the poison and protein, leaving their footprints behind. And given how clear the prints were, figuring out who they belong to will pose no problem. All we have to do is check everyone's footprints right now. Then we'll see who...
It was me. The footprints. They're mine.
Hina?
If you're all gonna find out anyway, I'd rather you hear it straight from me, you know?
Ogre's killer was...
Yep. I did it. I killed Sakura.
Was? Warum?
Just as I suspected. The footprints were made by a pair of sneakers. There was no mistaking it. And the only people here who wear sneakers are...
Sneakers, ne? Ja. Makoto und Hina, Makoto und Leon, Makoto und Byakuya. Leon, warum?
I got it! Me and Hina are the only ones. Oh, so Byakuya. That explains why you...
Ja, deswegen hat er gemeint. Wegen der Größe und wegen den Schuhen.
If the footprints didn't belong to Makoto, that left only one other possibility. Plus, Hina's been acting strange ever since the trial began. You were in an awful rush to get to the vote, weren't you? This whole time, you've been focused on pinning the crime on someone else, haven't you?
I can't believe it.
What about it can't you believe?
Well, it's just... the two of them were so close.
That's likely exactly why it turned out this way. Because they were so close, Sakura didn't think twice about it when Hina handed her the concoction. Hina used that trust to kill her. She deceived the victim, and she tried to deceive all of us. I have to say, Hina, coming from you, this was a particularly nasty little scheme.
Is it true? Did you really kill Sakura? And if you did, why? Why would you do that?
I found her. There in the rec room. She was hurt. She asked me to bring her that protein drink. But when I went to get the powder from the chem lab, it just occurred to me all of a sudden.
Now's my chance to kill her. That's what you thought, right? That's when you switched out the protein powder, and that's when you gave her the poisoned mixture.
And then she downed it all at once. And then...
Hold it! I'm not convinced.
You're not about to claim she wouldn't kill a close friend, are you? You still don't get it, do you? The game we're playing here isn't so kind. Honeyed words like friendship don't matter here. What matters is outwitting the opponent, defeating them. Not a person alive would sacrifice themselves for another. In the end, we're all in it for ourselves. Just like how this girl sacrificed Sakura to save herself.
You say that, but I'm still not convinced.
How many times do you plan to repeat yourself?
Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying it because of some misguided sentimentalism, but there's still that one unsolved mystery, and I'm not convinced.
Are you talking about the locked room problem?
Hina, if you really are the killer, explain it. How did you create that locked room?
Well... that doesn't matter. Just because I'm guilty, that means I have to tell you everything?
No, it doesn't. But the fact that you won't tell us concerns me.
Surely you're not... Do you honestly think Hina didn't actually kill her?
And if I do?
Impossible. She switched out the mixtures. She's the culprit. There's no way you can doubt this.
Are you sure about that? Even ignoring the fact that I don't want to believe it, it just doesn't fit.
What doesn't fit?
I mean, why would someone leave such a clear clue like a footprint? It's too obvious. Too easy.
He's right. It makes it look like you wanted people to suspect you.
That was... I was just nervous. So, I didn't notice I'd left a footprint.
You didn't notice?
That's just how it was. What can I do?
Listen, Hina. Could you go into a bit more detail? Tell us more about when you switched the poison and the protein.
How come? That doesn't matter.
Hina, please. I'd like to know too.
Fine.
Waste your time if you like. It's clear that Hina is the culprit. There's nobody else to suspect. Nobody else could have possibly done it.
Go ahead, Hina. Start from the moment you arrived at the chem lab.
Well, right away I went to Section C and got the poison.
And is that when you spilled the powder in front of that part of the shelf?
Yeah. When I opened the bottle, I dropped it like an idiot.
I see. Okay then, go on.
So then I moved to Section A and got the protein powder, and that's where I switched them. Once I was done with that, I took the protein can that had the poison in it and left the room. But I accidentally put the bottle filled with protein powder back on the wrong shelf. And because of that, everything I did got found out. And that's it.
That story you just told. First you went to Section C to get the poison. Then moved to Section A to get the protein, right? Meaning you went from Section C to Section A. Do I have that correct?
Yeah.
Aber wenn das wahr ist... Ja, es sind ja nur Fußabdrücke vorm A. Ist ein bisschen seltsam.
Can you repeat that series of events one more time?
What's wrong with you, Big Mac? You're being awfully pushy.
Big Mac, Also ist wohl jemand McDonald's-Fan.
It's the same thing no matter how many times you hear it. How long until you're satisfied?
Wie lang? Bis wir es herausgefunden haben. Bis wir die volle Wahrheit des Verbrechens herausgefunden haben. Ja, Byakuya hat natürlich keinen Plan von irgendwas. So. Jetzt muss ich mal gucken.
First I went to Section C.
Oh, das wird wieder länger.
That's when I grabbed the poison.
And you spilled some of the powder on the ground in front of the shelf.
Ich müsste eigentlich einen Schnitt machen.
When I grabbed the bottle, I dropped it.
Okay, and then?
I moved from Section C
Nee.
and that's where I switched the powder.
Sauce of the Powder. Foodspin of the... Genau,
Once I was
genau.
done switching them, I put the bottle filled, then I took the bottle and left the cap. That's all there is.
Honestly, that's enough. How much longer must we tolerate you?
Halt die Fresse.
First I went to Section C. That's when I grabbed the poison.
Nee.
And you spilled some of the powder
So-
on the ground in front of the shelf.
Das C.
Yeah. When I grabbed the... Okay.
And then?
Ja,
I
weiter.
moved from Section C.
Da.
No, it's wrong. You said you went to get the poison from Section C. And that's where you spilled the powder, right?
Yeah? What about it?
And after that, you said you moved from Section C to Section A to get the protein. But the footprints left at the scene were not moving from Section C to Section A. That contradicts what you just said.
What?
Then maybe she moved in some weird direction on purpose to disguise her movements?
No, that can't be it. Remember what Hina just said?
Ich weiß nicht, ja, das kennen wir schon.
What the... Hina, what's the meaning of this?
You lied to us. Plain and simple. If you look at the footprints, your movements in the chem lab are obvious. The powder had already been spilled when you came in, and you went straight to Section A. So you never went to Section C. Whatever you did there, it only involved Section A.
Well, you see...
What the hell? What's going on here?
Ja, Byakuya hat keine Ahnung. Ich werde jetzt aber mal wieder einen Schnitt machen. Mir geht vor allem auch der Speicher aus. Ich werde dieses Class Trial aber noch beenden. Und egal wie lang die nächste Folge wird, es wird das Class Trial beendet. Also nicht egal, wie lang sie wird, weil spätestens, wenn es zu lang wird, dann kann ich eh nichts mehr machen. Das war Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc. Ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen und wir sehen uns das nächste Mal wieder. Für euch.